Hey, what's up guys, it's Jane here. I'm going to be taking you through today's video on how to get the artifact of the Cleaver. As you can see, we're up by the Northern Ice Cave, and this is one of the more tricky artifacts to get just because of its location and the fact you have to drop down using a grapple hook. But we'll go through all of that in just a moment. So, let's begin. So here we are guys at the entrance to the Northern Ice Cave. Now I brought the beaver along because part of this is going to be swimming underwater, and the beaver is quite good for that. So we've come down into the ice cave. Now what we need to do now is put on our scuba tank. This will allow us to breathe underwater. You don't need to worry too much about the flippers or any of the other gear, as we're going to be swimming under the water. What it might be worth doing though is putting on something a little bit warmer for when we get out the other side. So as you drop down, you'll see that there are two exits. The most obvious one is the bigger exit there. That does lead to one of the artifacts, but not the one we're after. What you need to be heading for are the one with the stalagmites and stalactites, and you just head your dinosaur down here. As you can see, the beaver is very good for this, much faster underwater than the stego I tried to take the last time I did this. So once you get into this big room here, you'll see that there is a hole in the ceiling, and if you make a note of this room, you'll see that it's a little bit of an oval shape, and the entrance is at the far end of one of those of the oval. Now normally guys, there are mobs in here. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. This is a single player server that I'm running at the minute, and there are mobs outside. I don't know why there are no mobs in here, but I would expect to have a fight normally when you come through here. Don't expect it to be a cakewalk like this. Now you see this ramp here. As you come out of the water, what you're doing is heading towards the ramp, which you'll see in the distance. Do not go up the ramp, you want to be going along the bottom here, because that up there will just take you back into the original room again. And you want to be careful when you're running down here, because there is a large drop off just round this corner, so if you are fighting yetis and some of the other mobs which do push back, be very careful. So here is the ledge. And what you're going to need here guys is you need your grappling hook. As you walk towards the edge, you'll just simply need to fire it down a little bit, thusly, and then pray. Bring yourself in with the left mouse button, make sure you don't take any damage, and simply right click to descend all the way down. Now you won't quite make it to the floor, but you can drop the last little bit. Then pressing C allows you to drop down. I do normally suggest to bring a sleeping bag with you on this one because, well, there's a very good chance you can die falling down here. I have done many times. And trying to do a corpse run without your dinosaur can be a real pain, especially if you've got a time limit on collecting your things. Now this part of the cave doesn't actually have any mobs in it, so this isn't a single player bug, this is how the cave normally looks. So you are free to run through here without the risk of being eaten by anything. You can stop and collect resources if you want, but it just weighs you down and slows you down. I see them being here as a bit of a tease, to be honest. I've checked out this lake, it doesn't go anywhere. It's more of a puddle than a lake. I don't really know why it's there, just to be pretty I suppose. So keep on running. As you can see, the room is opening up ahead of us, and we can see the artifact up on the pedestal. And here we are guys, Artifact of the Cleaver collected. Now the run back is fairly simple. The grapple, we'll go through the grapple quickly because you need to use it twice, and it is a little bit tricky because you will be in free fall when you're reloading. Now it's always a good idea to bring some extra grapples with you for this, just to make sure you make it up. I've got 18, that's obviously a bit overkill. 3, 4 should be enough for this in case you make a mistake. You can make it in 2. Okay, now what you really want to try and do is see if you can get yourself onto one of these ledges, and it's not easy to stay on one of the ledges once you find one. So I'm going to try and aim for this ledge up here. Let's see how high we can get it. Bear in mind, if you fire up too high you will lose that grapple, which is another reason to bring some spares with you. So we're hooked on. We simply left click and hold and it'll take us up high. Now there's a little ledge there that might be worth standing on if we can't get a good footing here. Okay, I don't think we've got a good footing, but we're going to take a risk anyway. So what we're going to do is line yourself up for the next shot. You can just about make out there if you follow the sight. That is the ledge, so you want to be firing just over to the other side of the ledge because you can't really swing very easily with these things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to press C to release, and then as quickly as I can fire again and see if we can get up there. Oh, in fact we're on the ledge. Perfect. So that worked out very well. And here we are, back at the beginning. Our beavers managed to get to level by standing here and doing nothing. Excellent. So guys, that is how to get the Artifacts of the Cleaver. The way out is just the reverse of how I came in. And as you can see up above, we have mobs now, so something obviously is kicked back into life. So I'll wrap the video up here just before I start getting into a fight. I'll make my way back out. You're basically going back into your into the puddle, and you're going to turn towards the longer end of the oval-shaped cave because the exit is a little bit tricky to see. And then you're going to swim your way back up. If you take a scuba tank with you and a dinosaur with a hell of a lot of oxygen, you don't need to worry too much. Just make sure the dinosaur can fight. I did this with a Scorpion once, level 150 on one of the multiplayer servers, and it did get killed because it gets knocked back and some of the creatures get underneath it, and then the Scorpion can't do anything about it. So I did it with a Stego a bit later on, similar type of level, and that was easy, a cakewalk. All I had to do was increase the oxygen a little bit. It is a bit of a slow swimmer, but a Stego, or if you can get yourself a high level beaver, I mean obviously this one is cheated in because I'm on single player, but if you can get yourself a decent beaver then you can do this. Right guys, I hope you liked the video. There'll be a few more to come in the future. You can go through all of the artifacts, but this one was definitely the hardest one to get. If you like the video, please feel free to click like and subscribe for more videos. Okay, thank you very much. Bye bye.